Hello and welcome to Merlin's Manor. Today I'm going to be teaching how to play the solo game 20 Strong with the base Solar Sentinels. I got the game all set up and ready to go. I'm going to go over the setup and then the how to play and get into a playthrough of the game. And so the setup here, you're going to choose one of the 6 characters to play as. And then you're going to set up your dice based on the numbers that are here. This one starts with 3 for the health, 2 for the strategy, and 2 for the recovery. And then you're going to set up 3 stacks of 15 enemies with the yellow backs here. That's all of the enemies that have the yellow backs just split up into 3 equal stacks of 15. Then you're going to set up the 4 boss cards face down here. And then you are going to set up missions if you're going to play with missions. They do not recommend that for your first game, but once you're comfortable with the game, you can set up 4 missions, and then you're going to choose one of the missions to discard. And then if you want to play on even more difficulty levels, they're going to add in more missions that you have to complete, as well as a few other things, but I'm not going to go over that. Leave that for you to discover on your own there. And so we're going to be playing with the missions today, show how those work. And this is a tracker that will help you track for your missions that have multiple things that you're going to have to do. And then you're going to set up your dice pool over here. You've got these different dice that are going to have different hits on them. The yellow dice have 2 hits on them. The green dice have 3 hits. The blue dice have 4 hits, the purple dice have 5 hits, and the red dice have 6 hits, and all of them have one of those hits being a critical hit, which does 2 damage. You're going to have that all set up right there, and so that is the setup. The goal is to defeat at least all enemies in one of these stacks, and then you have to defeat the boss. And you are able to keep playing after you defeated one stack if you want to keep going after more things from these stacks until you are ready to defeat the boss at that point, or until you've exhausted all of the stacks and then you are forced to go after the boss, ready or not at that point. You will lose the game if your health ever hits 0, and that's tracked with this dice here, or if you fail to complete all of the missions if you are playing with missions. Now let's go over the abilities here and different things with your character. You have these 3 dice. This is your starting health. This is your strategy, which means the amount of times you're able to roll dice in each encounter, as well as the amount of items that you are allowed to hold. This is your recovery of dice. This means that I would be able to recover 2 dice at the end of each round. And then your character's abilities are posted on here. A lot of them have ongoing abilities, whereas this one has one that's just a setup ability. And during game setup, you increase your stat for this one by a total of 2. And so I'm going to increase my stat dice by 1 and my recovery dice by 1. So I have now 3, 3, and 3. But I want to be able to recover more dice. And it's always nice also to have that strategy there so you can roll more as well as have more items. Now let's go over the enemy cards. Here on the enemy cards, first of all, if it has this orange color to it, that means it's a mandatory. That means you have to face off against it before you can face off against the non-mandatories. And then you see that they have health here. That's how many damage you have to deal to them. And then you have this is how much damage they'll deal to you if they are still undefeated at the end of the encounter. This one's only a 0, so you don't really have to worry about that one as much. This one does 2, and this one does 2. The next thing I want to point out is their ability section here. If it has this symbol, that is going to be an ongoing ability until they are defeated in the round, and then you no longer have to worry about that. Here we see that they have an end of round ability. That happens whether you defeat them or not at the end of the round. Then over here you see that they have a plus enemies here. So whenever you face this one, you're going to add in an enemy. And then it also has an ongoing during the round. There's one that's not showing right now, and that's a star. And that's just basically a special effect that will apply in different ways depending on each one. And then down here you see a reward for defeating them. And these lightning bolts are an immediate thing that you get after at the end of the round there, and that applies to adding 1 to your strat die, and that's adding 1 to your recovery die, just to give you what those ones are all about. And then you have items, and there's 2 different types of items. There's an infinity symbol item here, which means you have this as an ongoing ability throughout the rest of the game as long as you have that as an item. And then you have one's kind of a downward facing arrow that is basically an item that you use up when you choose to use it. And again, you have a maximum of 3 items right now because that's what the dice says there. Whatever your die says, that's the maximum of items that you can hold. and that includes both the infinity ones and the arrow ones there. Now let's go over the turn structure. First thing you're going to do is you're going to activate an enemy. If there's a mandatory, it has to be that one, otherwise you get a choice. And if there's 2 mandatories, you get a choice there as well. And if there are any of these symbols, then on the one that you activated, you also have to activate another one and keep doing that until you no longer have the plus on the ones you're activating. And then you're going to go into the engagement, where you are going to commit dice. And this one actually has an ability of a max of 2 dice can be applied to this enemy. You can commit more dice than that, but you can only apply 2 dice to the enemy. So let's just go ahead and say that I wanted to grab these 2 dice here. And then I can... So that's committing the dice, and then you go ahead and you roll the dice. And I got 2 misses there. So I could apply any dice that had hits on them if I wanted to, since I can only have 2 on it anyway. I'm basically just looking for crits anyway, that's why I went with the yellow dice. They all have an equal amount of crits. And so any dice that are applied, you apply them, otherwise you have to re-roll all misses. And you can choose to re-roll hits if you want to. And you do that as many times as you have a strategy for. So there I got a crit. I'll go ahead and apply that one. And then I re-roll. I'm going to go ahead and re-roll a couple of yellows here. And so I got 3 there. That's not enough to kill it. And so So let's just go into what happens in the resolve phase. So since I didn't kill it, I would resolve the hits, which in this case is 0, so we don't really have to worry about that. But if there had been hits on there, I would take the damage based on the number there and apply it to this die right there. And then you do the after effects. That means if it has one of these symbols on it, you would do those. Then you would exhaust any dice that were used in that round, whether they were hits or misses. And then you would recover dice, which the recovery here is 3, so I get all of those back just like that. And then you gain item rewards. And so if it's an item, you would go ahead and do that. And then you would do the cleanup. You would discard all active cards, and so since I didn't actually beat this guy, he actually wouldn't go there, he would be discarded. And then you would discard 1 non-mandatory card from the 3 cards here. You cannot discard a mandatory. And so let's just go ahead and say I would do this one here. And so that's how a round works, and that's just kind of showing you how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and get into the game for real and show you basically from there. So the first thing I'm going to do as we get into the playthrough now is I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to get rid of it. We have 5 strong, which is apply all 5 dice colors to a single enemy. And that'll be tracked again on here. Or actually, that one doesn't have to be tracked because that's just going to happen. And this one is search and destroy. Select a conflict stack. While this is your current mission, all cards in the stack are considered to be mandatory enemies. Complete the next 5 rounds this way. I really hate this mission because you don't know what you're going to get, and you may get a bunch of plus enemies. And so I'm going to actually get rid of that one. But let's look at what the other missions are too. We got establish moon base. While this is your current mission, you may exhaust unapplied crits at any time and exhaust 4 crits this way. And so you don't get to apply those to an enemy, but you will be able to complete the mission that way. And then we have defeat 6 1 enemies. If you notice here in the corner, they have 1s on them and 2s on them. And so that's specifically for those. There are different card abilities that apply to whether they're a 1 or a 2 in different missions. That's the main thing you have to worry about there, is something tells you about that. And that is start. That's all I have to do for the missions. You have to complete these in the order that they came up. Let's go ahead and get into the game. Again, I have to face this guy, so let's go ahead and do it. I'm just going to do 3 yellows from the get-go. And I got 3 misses, so that's 1. 2, and I can only apply 2 dice at max to this enemy, so these don't do me any good. And so for my third strategy, I got 2 misses. So again, I did not defeat him. And so now let's just go through the steps here. We exhaust those dice after suffering 0 damage. There's no after effects on this card. So we exhaust those dice, then we recover dice, and then this guy will get discarded. And then I'm going to do the cleanup. I'm going to get rid of this guy because this guy has an ability that says if this enemy is defeated, banish all dice applied to it. If you're banishing dice, that means they go away forever. I don't like that after effect, and whether you defeat it or if you defeat it, you're going to have to deal with that. So I'm going to get rid of that, even though it has a nice ability with that adding to your recovery there. And so that is the first round. Let's go on and move into the second round. Again, there's another mandatory. This guy also adds an enemy. And so who do I want to add? I think I'm going to add this guy here. And so I have to do 7 damage in total. And then we have the ability for this one to add 2 hearts and or discard a non-mandatory enemy from the top of any stack. And this one is an item that's discarding 2 enemy from this engagement. And so you can use that at any time in the future. And then his ability, each enemy can have only 1 die color applied to them. And so let's see, what do we want to do? And this is skip the dice recovery step, but that's only if we haven't defeated him. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try and grab a few different colors here. Let's go ahead and grab 1 of each color since, well, no, we don't need to grab 1 of each color. Let's put that one back and that one back. And let's go ahead and grab another purple and another blue. Let's go ahead and do this to start out with. Okay, what do we have here? We've got a crit that I can apply to him. And one of these can apply there. Now I have defeated him. I'm going to turn that sideways to show he's defeated. I no longer have to apply this ability. And this is what else I have. I don't want to apply this because I can actually go ahead and re-roll it and guarantee still to get a hit, but it might actually get the crit. And then I have to re-roll these 2 as well. And let's go ahead and grab another purple here. So for my second roll, we did get the crit on that one, and we got 2 more hits there, defeating this one. And so now we would go to suffer damage if we had it. We don't. After effects. We had no after effects on these guys. Then we go ahead and we exhaust dice. So all these dice come up here. We recover dice, and I have recovery of 3, so I'm always going to get the red. I get a couple purples too. So we got those up there. Now we go ahead and gain items. And so we're going to gain this item here. And we're going to get this reward here, which means this goes up to 5. And I can discard one of these if I want to. I'm going to discard this one. Has to skip the recover dice step because, and that's one that's an end. It's going to happen no matter what. And I don't really need the instant health, so I'm going to discard that one. And there we go. No more active cards to discard. And then we discard 1 non-mandatory enemy here. So this is a mandatory. Cannot discard this one. If you suffered any damage in this engagement. Oh, this is the recover all dice one. That's fun, but he's a lot to handle there. I'm going to get rid of this one that causes another enemy to come in. Okay, we got a mandatory we got to go after. So that one comes up. He's 4, he does 2 damage, but he adds 2 health if we defeat him. It says count the total number of applied dice, discard that many cards from the top of any stacks, 1 at a time. I'm going to roll these. And I defeated him, 2, 3, 4, and 1 go there. So I have a max I can go up to of 6, so it doesn't do a whole lot of good for me. These ones are exhausted. And then I recover 3 dice. I just get those 3 back again. And then we got to get rid of one of... Oh, and he had end of thing ability. Just remember that. So we get rid of 3 cards. I'm going to get rid of this guy for 1. I'll get rid of this guy for a second one. Let's keep going at it. That one for the third one. And then we do our normal discarding of 1. I'm going to get rid of this guy because I just don't like banishing dice, and so banishing 2 dice in order to defeat a 1 enemy just does not seem worth it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into the next round. And we have no mandatories finally. And I'm going to go after this guy so I can get this item because that's a powerful item there. And so I'm going to have to apply a bunch of dice, though, too, in order to win this one. So let's do these 4, these 2, and we'll do a yellow. Trying for that crit, right? Okay. Ooh, I got a lot of crits right now. Oh, and I haven't been paying attention to doing that. I have to apply all 5 dice colors. So I need to focus on that here quickly. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I have defeated this one. And so all of these are going to go away. I'm getting this as my item here. Now, oh, if I suffered any damage, I did not. And then we get 3 dice back, red and a couple purples. Or no, let's go ahead and do a purple, blue. So now I have all 5 dice because I really need to go after that. I keep forgetting about the mission up here. And so let's go ahead and go into the cleanup. Let's get rid of... So this one has an item, exhaust 2 committed misses that are blue to set your strategy to 3 and recover it. No, I don't want that one. So I get rid of that one. Okay, so let's focus on what we can do to try and win this. Apply all 5 dice colors to a single enemy. Let's go after this one because he's going to give us more opportunities to be able to do that. And I'm going to get 1 of each color. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. You know, let's just go all in because I have the ability to gain all my dice back. Well, no, I got multiple commit steps. So let's go ahead and just do this to start out with. No, let's go all in. Let's go all in on it because I have that item. And I really want to get this mission done. And remember, you don't have to apply any that you don't want to. But I think I got 1 of each color, did I not? Yep, I got 1 of each color. So let's go ahead and do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, 6, 7. So I've applied, and you can actually apply extra dice than are required. And so, like, if in order to complete the mission I needed to, for some reason, apply those dice, I could actually do that. But I don't want to. So I applied all 5 dice to a single enemy. And so this one is going to be marked as completed. I just flip those over to show they're completed. And then I can actually start working on this one. I'm going to exhaust this one without applying it to an enemy in order to have done 1 towards established moon base. And then all of these are going to go away into the exhausted pile. But we are going to also flip the top boss card face up. And if one had already been there, we would be discarding that one and flipping another one. And so here, this one is going to call in 2 enemies. And then it's going to have this ability that the damage of all other enemies is 1. So you'll ignore their actual damage amount and say it's 1. The Hive Monarch can have no more than 3 damage applied to it per round. Dice applied to the Hive Monarch are not removed in the exhausted step. Normally during the exhaust step, you're going to remove all dice from the enemy there, the big bad enemy there. But in this one, and there's another one that does it as well, I believe, you actually leave them between rounds. And so that's an exception to a general rule there as far as that goes. And it has 8 health and is going to do 1 damage itself. And so now this one can go to my items. I'm going to spend this item to recover all of my dice. And so I'm just going to dump them into a pool here. And so I still have 2 items that I can use. And now we have to discard 1 of these cards. Now this one's kind of an interesting one. It says if this enemy is not defeated, place it on top of any stack. And then its reward is now going to be, during activation, you activate 1 fewer enemy than required. Otherwise, it's got a none here. And this can be useful sometimes, even as a none, is you hold on to it. And if there's a mission that requires you to use items, or a reward that you get from using items, you can still apply that by spending the item here and getting nothing, but you will apply the ability there or work towards a mission. So there are reasons that can be useful. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. And now we have no mandatories. This one adds 2 enemies and has ability purple cannot be applied to enemies while this one is active. This one has an item and a... Oh no, so this has an item, so when gaining an instant reward, gain the reward a 2nd time. That could be fun. I haven't actually defeated this one ever. This one's a max of 1 die can be applied to each color. in the apply dice step. Has the ongoing ability while the exhausted area contains 8 or more dice. Hits on blue dice deal 2 damage. Oh, that's a fun one. And there's another flip the boss one. I'm going to go after this one here. So I like that ongoing ability. Need different colored dice. Got a little bit of everything here. Okay. Max of 1 die of each color can be applied. And so we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Actually, I could defeat him in one go this round. Let's go ahead and exhaust this crit to apply to this. And I have 2, 4, 5, 6. All I need is 1 hit. So I'm going to keep rolling these. Got a couple crits just then, and a regular hit. 2, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to exhaust these 2 as well to go up 1, 2 on there. We've defeated the exhaust 4 dice this way. And we move on to that one. Start it back to 0, and we're going to have to defeat 1 enemies. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we can do this. Okay, so this is going to become my new item here. Now I have 3 items, which is the most amount of items that I can hold. I get 3 dice. 1, 2, and 3. Get rid of one of these. I don't really care about the whole boss situation going on here, so let's just discard that one because I feel comfortable going after this boss. Okay, so this one has an instant action of being able to increase that by 1. I like that, so I'm going to go after this guy. Greens cannot be committed against this guy, which I only had 1 green right now anyway. And I need to do 3. He's a 1, so he will count for that. Let's go ahead and let's commit these 2 dice and see what happens. So I got 1 there. Okay, let's just go ahead and commit 1 more. There we go. 3 hits. And so instant action is this goes up to 4. Put him in the discard pile. And then we go ahead and discard one of these 2. Oh, I forgot about that. 1, 2. We got plenty over there. Okay. Oh, I gotta get my exhausted dice back though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'm 1 short of being able to use this ability. So keep that in mind, I guess. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. Adding 2 enemies is, well, he's a 1. We need 1s. And I do have this ability that I can discard 1, 2 enemy from the engagement with no reward. Tell you what, I'm actually going to discard this 2 here. Okay. So now we got this one. Is a mandatory. It has to come in. And then it's going to add at least 1 enemy. And it has the ability that crits cannot be applied to enemies. It does have a nice 5 heart item though. That can be fun. It has an inability if red or purple are applied to any enemies, you discard the top cards from all 3 stacks. Which I was thinking about going after this one, but it's not that big of a deal. I think I'm just going to go after this one as the second enemy. Another mandatory just came up. And then crits cannot be applied to enemies. So I'm going to need to do 8 damage to defeat all these. Oh, this has recover all blues as an ability. But I'm out of the ability to... Oh, this one has the ability to defeat and gain the reward from the top card of the leftmost stack. Of course, if I do that, I'm just going to have that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just cause. And it says defeat, so you do a +1 there. Because it was a 1 and I defeated it. I'm really wondering if I use this ability on this guy and not worry as much. Just try and go after this guy. think I'm just going to try and go after that guy, not worry about the 5 heart increase there. I'm going to roll 3 blues for now. I got 1. Oh, I just throw a red in there. Oh. So we defeated this one. So, defeated that one. I'm going to use the stun gun in order to discard one enemy without gaining the reward. And so I've beaten this one. These go there. This item comes in here. That goes there as well. And then we got to recover 3 dice. Oh, but we're also doing the end ability, which actually these ones are mandatory, so they don't actually apply. You can never discard a mandatory. And so I really only discarded that one. And then we discard one for the thing, which can only be this one. Oh, this is a nice one, though, too. Roll all exhausted dice and recover any that were hits. That's a fun one. But unfortunately, it has to be discarded. We get 3 dice back, which I'm going to do these 3. And then we have to go after one of these 2. Oh, I should be recovering 4 dice. I forgot I increased that stat. I know I didn't recover one last time, so... After this one and this one. Crits deal 0 damage is the bad thing going on here. Oh, and did I defeat any 1s just then? Yeah, it's defeated... Yeah, I defeated that one as a 1. So I'm at 2 on the mission out of 6. And each roll dice tip, count the number of rolled misses. Oh, take the same number of rolled hits for as many as possible and re-roll them. I hate this one. Hate it with a vengeance. Let's roll 4 dice, and we're using our good ones here. Okay, we got no misses, so that's good. Let's take this guy out first and foremost. 2, 3, 4. No, 2, 3, 4 like that. And now I can go ahead and try to defeat this one if I want to. You know what? I don't know if I care about defeating this one. It's only going to give me the ability to get 3 hearts back. Right now, I'm doing good on that. I'm just going to take the damage. I'm not going to worry about defeating this guy. And so I suffer damage. And then these are going to be exhausted. This goes up to 5. This gets discarded, and that gets discarded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then the non-mandatory... Oh, wait, there's one non-mandatory. Okay. Boom. Oh, and what did we defeat again? We defeated 2... No, we defeated 1-1. So we're at 3 now. We need to defeat some more 1s at the start of each round, plus 1 heart if you have 3 or fewer. This one needs 4 different colors applied to it to defeat it. Once per round, you may exhaust 1 die from your dice pool to change a hit to a crit. Well, let's go after it, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 different colors are needed, so we got to do at least 1 of each color. And then let's go ahead and add all the blues, because I can use that one item to get a bunch of blues back. So what do we have here? Got 4 different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 hits. So it's been defeated. I'm going to exhaust all the dice. I'm actually going to spend this one to recover my 4 blues. I recover some dice. I want to recover some yellows this time, because I'm going to be rolling my 3 weakest die with this guy. And then I gain the item rewards like that. Go into cleanup. I can get rid of either of these. I don't want to reveal another boss, so I'll get rid of that one. Another 2 mandatory here. This is why I took the 3 yellows, because it says roll the 3 weakest dice committed to this engagement. If you roll at least 2 hits, banish a purple. And so I want ones that are likely not to get hits for my weakest ones. And then I can roll any other dice at this point. Let's do a couple of those and a blue. So we got 4 hits. I only need 1 more. Let's go for it. Got it. 5 hits. Beat him. I have to do the after effects, which means I roll these 3 are the weakest dice. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, I got 2 hits. Not even 2 hits, 2 critical hits. So that means I have to banish a purple. Bye-bye forever, purple. Anyway. So 1 purple got banished. That's the after effects for this one. This one has the ability, if I were to claim it as an item when gained at the end of each strategy phase, I return all... Sorry, you go down 1 on this, and then at the end of each strategy phase, you return all misses. I don't think I care about that one. So I get 5 dice back now. It'll be these 5. And discard. I'm going to discard this 2, I believe, or either 2 really. Recover up to 5 dice and or discard a non-mandatory enemy from the stack of any stack. Once per engagement, you may change 2 misses of the same color die into a hit. I don't have space though, and I don't know that I care to get rid of one that I currently have. Once per round, you may exhaust 1 die from your dice pool. Change a hit into a crit. I keep forgetting I have that. I keep not being able to apply that one. I think I'm just going to do this one. Now we gotta get these 1s done, so let's go after a 1 here. This is an item where you can recover up to 3 dice. Let's go after this guy. And let's go ahead and apply some strong dice here. When this enemy is defeated, you may immediately defeat one other 1 or 2 enemy. Doesn't say where that's supposed to be from, so I think it can be from anywhere. But I don't know. Interesting question there. Throw in a green, I guess. Oh, that's a lot of crits. Woo! Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and get a heart back with this guy. It says currently... says 1 heart for each enemy currently in the active area. I'm just really kind of making room and going up to max health here. So, boom. This guy will be coming to here as I exhaust these dice and get 5 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this goes up 1. I'm going to go after this guy. It's going to require 4 to use these 3. For each crit you apply to an enemy, you must first exhaust an unapplied hit. Oh my. So I might as well roll 4 dice then. I got no crits, but I got all hits. So, can completely ignore that. Well, I want to go ahead and recover up to 3 dice. So I can make room for this one. He is at the start of each round, plus 1 heart if you have 3 or fewer. So let's go ahead and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice back. We are almost back to full. And that was a 1, so we're up to 5 defeated. We only need to defeat 1 more. This one has banish all misses in the active area. I do not like that one, so I'm going to discard that one as my discard for the round. This one adds 1 to the strategy. I like that. Let's go after that guy. I'm going to need to hit 4. Hits can only be applied to enemies in matching colored pairs. So no red for this one, because it can't be a matching colored pair. Let's go ahead and do 3 purple. No, let's do 2 purples. 3 blues. And 3 greens? Or no? Let's start with this and see what we get. 'Cause I got 3 attempts. And we got matching pairs for days. I think that was a regular hit. I accidentally switched it to a crit. But it doesn't matter because 2, 4, 5, 6, that's more than we needed. We do have to apply them, though. That's another reason that you can apply more is to make those matching pairs. So those get exhausted. I go up 1 on the strategy to 4 now, which means I can hold 1 more item. Is probably the biggest deal for that at this moment. And these 5 dice come back. And that was the 6th and final one for that. We are good to go there. I'm going to get rid of this guy. And I think I go after this one because it will allow us to exhaust a pile. I will need to go after multiple enemies, though. Anytime you defeat a 2 enemy, you may add a heart. Not the best. After each roll step, in which you roll at least 3 different die colors, you may change 1 miss to a crit. Actually, no, I'm going to go after this to get this item here. But I could actually go after this and add him as an extra. No, I'm just going to go after this one. No, I'm going to go after this one. I'm going to go after this guy because he'll exhaust a pile. I have to add 2. This one lets me recover 2 dice. So I'm going to do that one. Oh, but it costs... It's going to be 6 to defeat. Oh, but yellows and greens do 2 damage instead of 1. Well, this guy's out. Let's go for it. Let's have a big battle here. Only 1 enemy can be defeated in each applied dice step. A max of 2 dice can be applied to enemies in each applied dice step. Oh my. Well, that's not good. Well, I'm gonna roll a bunch of greens and yellows, I guess, because they count for double. And I have 4 applied dice steps. Might as well throw the red in there. Well, no, I'll leave the red out for now. Let's see what happens. Okay, a max, this is 2 dice. So crits are a single dice, so that's good. And of course, regular hits also count double. Let's get rid of this guy because he's annoying. So boom like that. No, actually, no, wait. Oh, yellows count double, so do that because greens are more likely to hit. So that's 4 damage already. Roll number 2. Boom, I only got 1 that I can apply, but he is now gone. I can now apply more dice. So let's bring the red in now. And let's see. I actually don't care about this guy as much. Well, let's go after him anyway. Okay, what do we got here? Of course we're getting crits and we don't need crits. So right now those are counting for double. So we got 2 there. 2, 4, 5, 6 there. We got them all. With 1 left over. Okay, do we have any end of... We don't have any end effects there. And so, is there anything I wanted to do here? No, these are all ongoing abilities. So we have to decide what I'm actually going to... So I recover 2 dice. Let's exhaust all my dice first. And then I get to recover 2 dice for this guy. Of course, we're going to cover those 2. So that's the instant action there. I also get 5 dice back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For my... I have to decide which one of these I want to take, or if I want to get rid of one of those. Oh, this one isn't as applicable, so I'm going to get rid of him. Keep that for my 4th and final item. And now we've exhausted a pile. We can choose to go ahead into the end game, which I am going to do. So what happens here is we bring this guy down, and then he wants to add 2 people. If there hadn't been 2 out here, if I had exhausted all of them, or there's only like 1 card, or whatever, I would actually shuffle and pick up 2. Otherwise, we take 2 from what's here. And this one, in the roll dice step, negative 1 heart for each die color that rolls 2 or more hits. I don't know I like that. Recover up to 5 die. Oh, this one has no abilities, but it's an 8. I'm going to have to take him anyways. Let's grab him. And then plus 2 heart and or recover 2 dice as an instant action. Yeah, it's only 2 more health, so let's go ahead and grab that guy. So these are the people we're facing. These go away. And that'll bring these up a little bit here. So what are we going to do first? We got 4 strategy. And remember, this guy is going to... The strategy of all, or the hits of all other enemies is 1, so we don't have to worry about these numbers here. They're just going to be 1s. I can only apply 3 damage to this Hive Monarch each round. And so it's going to take at least 3 times going after it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do something fun here, I think. I'm going to roll all of these and keep the blues back, because I have this ability while the exhausted area contains 8 or more dice, blues do 2 damage. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minus 5. Actually, need 1 more die anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what do we got here to start out with? Take all of my hits out. So the most I can apply to this one over here is 3. Let's go ahead and do that to start out with. And then... Oh, I just realized he's going to give me my dice back. Anyway. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just go ahead and put more dice in then. Six, 7, 8. There's no way I'm going to be able to defeat this guy. Came as close as you possibly could, though. That wasn't a crit. 2, 4, 5. I'm missing by 1. I guess I could have re-rolled this one a bunch. So we got a crit. I didn't. Okay, so this is what we got. I'm going to take 1 damage from here, because I didn't defeat this guy. I did defeat this guy. Let's exhaust all my dice first. And we're going to get the rewards. Oh, and this guy also gives me 1 damage because it's not defeated. Oh. What colors did I have on there? I think I had a green and a blue, I think. So I took 2 damage. 1 for this guy, 1 for this guy. And then I get 5 back for that guy and 5 back for myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, it wasn't a blue. It was a purple, I think. I think it was a purple. I can't remember for sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then that's the end of that round. We no longer have to discard anything from piles or anything. There are no piles. Go ahead and roll these ones. I can do 2. Oh wait, one of these purples shouldn't be here. It was banished. I guess I got this one back and rolled it. Okay. I don't know how I managed to grab that by accident. Okay, so 2, 3. Alright, so I need to add 1 more to that. Add a green. It's the most we can do there. Now we need to work on this guy. 2. Try not that. 1, 2, 3. I need more dice, so I'm going to keep this guy. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8 if I needed it. So I defeated this guy. He gets me 2 hearts back, and or recover 2 dice. So recover 2 dice. Always come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I take 1 damage for this guy, going down to 4. Now we can just roll everything. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was the beginning, and boom. More than we needed. We defeated the Hive Monarch. That's how you play 20 strong Solar Sentinels. I hope you've enjoyed this playthrough. It's showed you how to play the game. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments down below, and I'll answer those. If I made any mistakes, let me know about that as well. Especially since there are some things that's kind of tricky as to exactly how they apply when you're looking at different abilities sometimes. So let me know, and I'll edit the description if there are any mistakes that were made in this video. As always, I hope you have a great week, and game on.